All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Russell Hantz Show. Today, we are joined by Aaron.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
I'm Cameron, and we're also here with the Russell Hantz. How are you doing today?
What's happening? I'm trying to figure this out. We need it. Somebody needs to figure it out because CBS isn't doing it. I mean,
nope.
I don't know if they're just is someone trying to figure it out or they're just waiting.
Well, that's a good point. Like, I'm trying to figure this out because Big Brother got it kind of figured out, and The Bachelorette also kind of got it figured out. But I think, like we were talking about, with Fiji and all these other things going on, how are they going to get to the island? How are they going to quarantine? They can't really do it the same way Big Brother did it.
There's a lot to it, and I think production right now is like they're really trying to make sure that nothing crazy happens. Like they want to make sure everything is going, well before they risk it.
Yeah, go ahead and explain to everybody exactly what we're about to talk about.
So basically what we were going to talk about is how do we get Survivor filming again during COVID and everything that's been going on? I mean, they've had to hold. We would have already had season 41 by now, I'm sure. And because of COVID, they've had to postpone everything. And we're just trying to kind of reach out to CBS. Hopefully, maybe somebody from production sees this and present some ideas as to how they could get filming started.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if Probst is giving them any ideas. We know that because of it being in Fiji, that's a major problem.
Right.
Yes.
Because of the Fiji government, I assume. Do you know more about that?
Yeah, so they've actually have a law going on right now in Fiji because Fiji only has 35 COVID cases total. So there's not many people there who have gotten sick, and they want to keep it that way. One way that they're doing that is by making all quarantines happen on Fiji in a Fiji government supervised facility. So typically like a hotel or something like that. And so you can't quarantine in the United States and fly everybody from Survivor down to Fiji because they don't take that. So Aaron, I was going to ask you, did you have any initial ideas like how maybe they could do this?
So I think the biggest obstacle is the production team. A lot of what Jeff was saying is that a lot of the production team is from overseas and out of state. So it's going to be very difficult to not only get everyone actually to Fiji, but get them all quarantined and such.
Right.
I was actually going to ask you, Russell. So do you think Fiji would allow Survivor to not necessarily break some of the rules that they have with all the regulations and such, but, be a little bit more lenient with them?
It doesn't look like it.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that Fiji's like putting a strong hand down saying that this is how this is going to work. I think Fiji needs to send a representative down to the United States. It's so much money for Fiji.
Yeah.
They're losing out on so much money. They send first of all, Survivor picks their crew. They put them up in LA, wherever. A representative comes down, tests everybody. The expensive thing is they're going to have to fly the entire crew, just that crew. And which they can fill an entire plane, believe me.
Okay.
To the crew, the staff, the cast members, everybody fly to Fiji, but first quarantine, show the representative we're all quarantined here. Nobody has COVID. Get them in the plane, fly them back, make sure that nobody roams around. They got to figure out in the airport how to do it. But when you get to Fiji, you do the same thing for 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then so you do it here. Everybody's clean. They know it. You have a few people. You're going to have 2 or 3 people flying there. That's what do they call the backup plan?
Okay, like the alternates.
Yeah, so they're going to have some alternates. Fly all the way to Fiji, and then sit in a hotel room for 2 weeks. And that's and the government can monitor everything.
Okay.
And it's a bubble. The NBA did it. The NBA did it. How come the NBA can do it And you tell me Survivor can't do it? The
And
NBA
I
has
think
way more people.
I was going to say, I think it's actually crazier that the NBA was able to do it, considering it's way more condensed. Survivor's going to be out on an island. Like, it's going to be very hard for that to even spread.
Well,
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Russell, from being somebody on the inside of like not the inside of production, but you've seen kind of how it all works. How do you think they're going to be able to quarantine everybody in such close quarters, but still keep the contestants away from each other?
Well, you're going to have to do that. They have to figure it out.
Yeah.
They have huge resorts in Fiji.
Mm-hmm.
When I went for the Australian party thing, the camping trip in Australia, when I went over there, they had not all the survivors were in the same place as the cast members, is the host. Every single person was in Fiji, was in the same area. That's the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's it right there.
Right.
You cannot leave out of that bubble. Essential foods and stuff should already be in the bubble. They're worth $100 million easy.
Yeah.
Every season. That's the kind of money they make.
Wow.
So they, keep everybody in the bubble. Then once you go play, every single person involved has to go back to that same camp. You never leave the bubble. That's the NBA did it. You know how many people is involved with the NBA? Tons.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's ridiculous the amount of the whole thing. It's the managers, the trainers, all the staff for every single team. So
and it's interesting that you even brought up the fact that Fiji can make so much money doing this. One way they can do it themselves is Fiji has all of their COVID tests. Survivor would have to buy. Fiji's not going to hand it out. And they're charging, I think, $300 Fiji for one COVID test. So if they require Survivor to kind of keep testing their crew throughout the season, they could, which Survivor can afford, they could easily make a tons of money off of production.
Another thing Fiji should keep in mind is that tourism, when COVID is, handled and a lot better, people are going to want to go out, and Survivor is a really good way for people to be like, wow, that looks awesome. I would love to go there. And if Survivor went somewhere else, Fiji would be missing out on a ton.
When I was in Samoa, they could go to Samoa. And the thing is, they built roads. They built infrastructures in the city or the country of Samoa. Everything we did there, they built. It was up mountains, and to get to the places we were, CBS, the production, the money from Survivor built roads for a very poor area in Samoa.
Wow.
So, and the reason they don't like going from country to country is because they don't make the kind of money that they make any longer. They used to make a lot of money, like a ridiculous amount. Now they still make a ridiculous amount, but not just super crazy. It was the number one show, still is the number one show on CBS every Wednesday or Thursday or whatever time they decide to do it this year.
Especially with, quarantine, Winners at War was getting, a ton of viewership because of
right. So they still make their money, but the reason they don't go from country to country, and I asked them this, is because all the equipment and all the wood and all that stuff that they need to bring,
it adds
because
up.
if you look at the challenges, they're all pre-made. So you go to another country, you got a mess that you have to deal with. They would have to be in that country right now building challenges, starting to build challenges right now. They take all that serious. They don't slack in the value of the challenge. When you look at the challenges, they all look amazing.
Oh yeah.
They don't only look amazing, they are. When you're there and you're filling them, everything is sturdy.
It's a spectacle.
Nothing is flimsy whatsoever. So so I think they could move it, but once they move it, Fiji's out of luck. They're gonna stay there. If they move to Samoa, everyone is gonna move to Samoa. Love Island, Bachelor in whatever.
Right.
Meet my ex on the beach, whatever it may be. That's where everyone's going to go. Right now, they're all doing it in Fiji.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Fiji needs to be very careful on how
There's a
much
lot of money on the table.
Fiji's
How much
going to
of
lose
a-
their best customer.
how much of a strong hand that they're doing. They just need to be careful. It's a great place to do these shows. It's beautiful, but let's just say Fiji is not going to happen.
Okay.
How long does CBS sit there and say, okay, we're probably going to have to spend another $2-3 million to move all this equipment and to get everybody into another island to get this started? When are we going to pull the strings on this? When are we going to actually leave and make it happen? Either on another island, when we could talk about this some, or in the United States, which would be super interesting.
I would love that. Like Hawaii, that would be so sick.
I would love to watch a Survivor Hawaii. I think they could do all kinds of great things with that, using tiki torches and
All the
things like that.
reward challenges and such, like going to a luau.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
I mean, people in the United States, I don't think that they're really thinking that through when
No.
it comes to, oh, we don't want to do it in the United States. Why? This is one of the most beautiful countries in the world.
Absolutely.
So you can literally do it like they went to Tocantins. We have places like that. You just have to, you go in the mountains of Tennessee to do it.
Got to watch out for those bears.
Right. You can figure something out.
Yeah.
I would love if they did like a season in like in the Grizzlies, like in Big Bear or something like that.
Somebody said, like Survivor Montana.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, and then somebody in the chat section says that they'll never film in the United States. Now, I don't know why not. I mean, maybe it's a money thing. Maybe it's a tax thing. I don't know.
It's probably a tax thing.
It's not a viewership thing, because people would be so interested to see one of the biggest shows, probably the biggest reality show in the history of television, come home and do it in the United States.
They would tap into so many like different fans. Like, oh, hey, they're filming in Hawaii. I live in Hawaii. Hell yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I get right now, maybe because of COVID, tourism isn't the best idea, but all these states have something to gain from Survivor filming in their state. You know how many people are going to want to go and see the area that they did the challenges at and whatnot? Like, that's a great way to get people to your state and get more money.
I'd like to say this. The show Pawn Stars, all right? It has a pawn shop in Vegas. It is a tourist icon. Like, so many people go there for a pawn shop. Can you imagine a beautiful
television,
island?
Television show?
Right.
A beautiful resort in America. Like, everyone would want to go there.
And what they would do, they build, when they go to these countries and they build, man, the tribal councils that they build, it takes your breath away when you walk up on them.
Oh yeah.
When you're literally there,
I can't even imagine.
It's like, what is happening? It's a tree house. It's like in a tree, bunch of trees surrounding it, or whatever it may be. But they're all beautiful. Can you imagine them actually doing that on somebody's property in Hawaii? Every time they've ever done it, they tear it down after they're finished. If they did that on my property,
it's staying
forever. It could be a piece of art, like you just said, that people come visit all over the world. Exactly. They would say, this is where they filmed Legends of the Game, right here. And that is the time that Russell finally won, right there.
Right in USA.
Oh, yeah.
USA. I wouldn't mind winning my title in the United States.
That's a good segue into this then. Someone like you being on the show would be more of an all-star cast. So where do you think they're going, or where do you think they should go with the cast in terms of COVID? Should they stick with an all-star cast that kind of knows the ropes and how to do things, or would a new cast be better?
I think what they need to do is immediately have a all-star cast to bam, we're back. You know,
Exactly.
that,
Yeah.
because they're sitting around so long, we're already lost a year. So if they did a cast, we got another year before we watch Survivor, guys. Another year.
Yeah.
So that's
It's gonna need to be a big season to like really punch us in the face. Like, oh,
yeah, because a lot of people, super fans, of course, they're waiting. People that follow this channel, they love it. They're waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Us, we're waiting. But the normal person that flicks through the channels that stops and watches, Survivor Zone, they're not what they could care less.
Oh,
They will walk away.
there's plenty of
right.
things. There's plenty of things to watch. There were like the super fans will never leave, but the fans will.
They got the stupid shows they can watch, like The Masked Singer. I Could See Your Voice. It's like, what?
SEAL Team.
I could see you.
I always see commercials for SEAL Team, and I'm like, what? Why isn't Survivor getting 2-hour episodes, but SEAL Team is getting, a big 2-hour episode?
Now, if they should come in like a bang, just with an all-star season, should they just go for the biggest bang and do like a legend season, or was there like kind of a softer start that they should take?
I think they can go any route. I think that they just need to I ain't just saying it. I just think they need to bring back, because it's going to be a year and a half before we watch Survivor. I think we're going to need something big to ramp up the next 5 years.
Especially to follow up on Winners at War, which is like a season that nobody ever thought was actually going to happen.
Right. Jeff didn't want that to happen, by the way.
No.
And it wasn't going to happen. We were called. Like, I was called. Several people were called. We were heading out. I was heading out a week before they called me and said, we changed the theme.
Oh, that must have been terrible.
I was not happy.
Oh, man, I would have been heartbroken.
Because I was just like pissed. Because I was like, look, next time you call me, that's what I told him. I said, if you call me again, make sure it's only one time.
Exactly.
Right.
And I said, look, I'm not mad at you, because it was a really close in production, somebody really close to me. I'm like, I'm not mad at you. This is just bullshit that you do this to people, because they have people out there that really want to play again.
Exactly.
I want to play again. I won't deny it. But they got people that live and dream and would die for this game. And you can't do that to people. You can't call them up and say, oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's rough. That's just playing with their emotions like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's even more of a reason to get Survivor back on the air. Survivor is like one of the only shows I can think of that so many people want to do it. Like I think the thing that will kill Survivor will not be lack of players. There will always be people wanting to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now, some people that probably will not be able to come back, even during an all-star season, would probably be those in the more elderly section. I mean, in Winners at War,
there's really nobody like that, though, except for Bob Crowley, maybe.
Okay.
And
Terry.
Do you think Terry Dietz?
I mean,
he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, but
Bob Crowley and Tom Westman.
Definitely those two.
Both because they were not. Now, I don't know about Bob, but I know Tom Westman because he was so out of shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he said no or they just was like, okay, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if they got onto the island and they're like, say they're like 2 weeks into filming and everybody's kind of getting to that point where their body weight's dropping and I guess you would say their health is kind of declining a bit. I'm wondering, is COVID too dangerous for people at those levels? Like, can the medical team bring them back up to health at that point? Like if they got sick?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That might be something that they have to think about.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I lost 60 pounds my first season. So,
whoa!
If I get COVID at the end of that season,
your
body's already super weak.
Right,
dude. My second season, when I gained a little weight back, not much, and then I started playing my second season in challenges I should have destroyed people, like challenges that were my thing. It was like, okay, I wrestled in college. I can do this thing. The jousting challenge. When I went to Australia, they did the jousting thing. I hit that boy so hard one time, he flew back. I tapped him, he fell in. So it was like, those are my challenges. When you see me doing that with Tom Westman, even though he was all-time winningest, one of the all-time winningest guys, really athletic, I was gone. You could see I had no muscle, no strength whatsoever after me playing the first season, coming straight back 10 days later.
It's just so physically demanding, and I don't even want to imagine what COVID on top of that would be like. That's definitely
that, and that may be something that the doctors are more talking about when it comes to, can we risk that, that type of thing right now? Should we do that? They would probably test you randomly all the time as you're playing in the game.
Right.
And the least amount of cast members, then production would probably start weeding that out. Like, okay, we only have 10 people left. We need to go ahead and let 4 or 5 people no longer be here. Or then when you have 5 people left, you only need maybe 2 camera crews, a couple of assistants with their little cameras. So you can keep weeding out the bubble.
Right.
So you can make it less probable to actually get COVID or whatever else you're going to get.
Or if they split the production team in half and have them working, the separate shifts, I think that could work out.
Yeah.
Now, what would it take for production to shut down? How many people would need to be tested positive at some point during COVID for them to shut down the whole process? Would they stop a season halfway through if one person gets sick?
Well, in the NBA, when they got it, they just took them away.
Okay.
I would assume they get medevaced. And then, but if one person gets it, they're all getting it.
It's
like, 'cause you're all sleeping together. It's like you're the only show that I can see that's like that is The Bachelor, but they exchanging saliva constantly.
Back and forth.
But on Survivor at night, everybody's in one area,
very close,
and near on top of each other.
Yeah, it's very likely that, like you said, if one person got it, the whole entire island, the whole tribe would get it.
So what if one person gets it and they're in the final 3?
Yeah, like, do they still get a vote? Like
Zoom call from the hospital.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I mean, do they really do that to that person?
I don't know.
That would be rough.
What if it was me?
Yeah.
And I'm in the final 3.
Oh.
I'm like, I've been getting screwed my whole Survivor career.
You'd officially have a curse at that point. I think 3 times is when it's a curse.
If that would happen, I would be like, I am not made to win this game. Whoever out there, the Survivor gods does not want Russell Hantz to win. Gives me COVID and everything else to stop you from winning.
Now, one person who definitely can't get sick is, what if Jeff got COVID? Like halfway through, I've never seen on any season of Survivor ever, not even for one situation where they had to use somebody else besides Jeff.
I sure hope they wouldn't call Julie Chen. Oh God.
She couldn't do it.
Oh, please.
I mean, all respect for Julie Chen. She does her show. She does what she does. Everybody knows her from Big Brother. She could not do Survivor.
Yeah.
We would eat her up.
She's got a lot of glam for Survivor.
She would, I can guarantee you, and no disrespect, but if Julie Chen was a host of Survivor, we would make her cry.
Oh, that's
brutal. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Dude, I scream and holler at Jeff in his face before.
True.
Like, you got to realize Jeff he's not just a host. He's dealing with these super extreme personalities.
He's basically a therapist.
Coach went off on. I've seen Coach go off on him before.
Yeah.
And he has to control the situation, and he does it aggressively.
Yeah, no, he's sassy as hell.
Yeah.
There's literally compilations on YouTube called Jeff's sassy moments. So
Right.
So that's the question is, what do you there's no replacement for Jeff. So who subs in?
It's over.
Yeah.
So, okay. So maybe that's what it would take for production to shut down.
No, if
Jeff gets sick.
If you're in the middle of a season and Jeff gets COVID, it's over.
So now imagine if you're in the final 3 and Jeff gets sick, not you, but that still ends your season. Oh man.
Oh man.
Dang.
That would be the worst. That would be crazy.
You know what I could see CBS doing? They call Boston Rob.
Oh, okay. Maybe
he comes down and he's Jeff for a season.
I
don't know. Is Boston Rob aggressive enough?
Oh, to be a host?
Right.
He probably could be. Rob probably could be a host. No hate on Rob or nothing. He probably could do something like that. He
got some practice in Island of the Islands.
Yeah,
That's true.
He has charisma. He's we get along. We got along, except when it's time to play the game.
Right.
So he could probably do something like that. It wouldn't be fun for him because I wouldn't be nice.
I'd love to see that.
So
you said you got in Jeff's face. I know damn well you'd get in Rob's face.
Oh yeah, for sure. I would test him. I would be testing him. So somebody said that ET Canada asked Jeff what would happen if something like that went down, and he said they have a plan for that. But he wouldn't reveal it. It's almost like the nuclear code, the football. Is that what they call it? The football, the briefcase that has a nuclear.
Yeah. There's always a plan.
There's always a plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they got plans B through Z. Like they got it.
I'm trying to speculate. What would that be? Like, do they have
I have
another producer?
Bad. It would be bad. It would not. It would not be good.
It wouldn't be Jeff.
No.
I guess they would. If Jeff said that, I guess they wouldn't shut it down. So that would be really interesting. What in the world would they do?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said Australian survivor Jonathan, but I don't know.
Maybe. But look, Jonathan has that thing in his ear. He tells you when he talks, it's production talking. They tell him.
Really?
Jeff doesn't have. Jeff is on point.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff knows everything that's going on. Jonathan stands to the side when they're getting their challenges ready and everything is getting it together. Jonathan leaves, and he comes only when the camera is rolling. When it's United States Survivor, Jeff is right there. When the challenges are going on, I'm like, Jeff, can I do this? Can I do this? Because when we did the challenge and we couldn't get rid of the first season. What was his name? Not his name ain't Tyson. It's
Mick.
Mick. Okay. When we tried to get rid of Mick, I said we was doing a challenge where you had to walk on these poles, in balance, and I was like, Jeff, can we knock them off? Every time we were gonna have somebody knock them off every time. He said, "No, you can't." So,
it was a good question. Don't blame you for asking.
That's a great question.
If we can't beat them, we're going to beat them like that. So we got together, me, Natalie, and Mick got together and was like, let's just knock them off. And I think it was somebody else with us at that time. But at the end of the day, I went ahead and took them out on my own. So.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you brought up that Jeff watches the challenges like he watches them like a hawk. I don't know if anyone else would be able to do that like their first time. He's been in the game
way
20
more
years.
What you guys watch Jeff do, that's what we see.
Mm-hmm. That's off the top of his head.
Yes,
it's not scripted in any way.
Oh no, all that's happening. And it amazed me in the first season. He called out our names like he'd known us for years. Like
that's
Russell
crazy.
Can do Natalie, Mick, Shambo. Like it's just people don't think of that part of it, that aspect of it.
There's so many different skills that he has. Like,
when he's doing at the tribal council, he's doing this.
Oh yeah, he's
When
scanning.
He'll ask a question, and I watch him. He'll ask a question to somebody, and then his eye go like this to somebody else. My first tribal council at Heroes versus Villains. You've seen what I did in season 19. No one seen me play. I was so gone. I was exhausted. My mind was rushing 110 miles an hour. I couldn't stop from the first season. Now I have to play again with All Stars again. With these players. And I have somebody like Boston Rob coming at me. So they start arguing the first tribal council. And then, man, I don't even want to say anything. And then I see Jeff look at me. When he looks at me, I look straight in his eyes and I go, I shake my head and I put my head down. And then he just moves on. Never asks me a question. He even knows when I'm like, please, not I need a little break right now.
I'm surprised he actually listened to you.
Yeah, usually he looks for that and he calls people out.
You're looking away from me. Why don't you want to talk?
Well, he knew what we just went through. He knew what I just went through.
Right.
So
yeah, it was a lot.
He's a good guy too. So he's not just a big aggressive bad host, because he's an amazing. When he wins the Emmys for best host or whatever, it's well worth it, man. Nobody does that. Nobody in reality TV will ever be someone like Jeff Probst.
Yep. If out of all the tiers, he's on the S tier, the top of the top. And I don't even think there's anybody next to him, you know?
Because not only does you got to realize he's doing that to me. And he's doing that. He's getting things out of me. He's getting things out of Rob. He's getting things out of Sandra and Rupert and Coach. And he's making things happen with our personalities. That's hard to do.
Yeah. He knows what to look for and what to bring out.
And he knows when he can and can't say something. He knows when he needs to be quiet.
Wow.
Exactly.
Now, so
like when Cody, remember when Cody the chocolate, and Cody said, "We don't need it. Let's just get to it. Let's just get to it. We don't need no chocolate." And he said, "I heard what you said." Jeff was like, "I heard what you said. I'll get to it when I want to get to it."
Yeah, he gets.
Yeah.
Russell, I'll send you that sassy compilation. It is really great. It's just like everything. He goes in on like so many different people.
But everybody respects it. Everybody that plays with Jeff respects him. Everybody.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was responsible for this. I'm sure he's largely responsible for most of the decisions made. But if I recall correctly, he was largely responsible for being able to bring kids, onto the island in Winners at War, which was such a great thing to do for the families.
Right.
Wonderful thing.
Which is something we could talk about as well. During COVID, are they going to have loved ones visit?
Oh, I said Cody. Did I say Cody? I mean, Colby.
Colby. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I had no Cody on there. Did they ever have a Cody that played? Ever?
Big Brother, yes. But Survivor, I don't think
I'm thinking of two Big Brother players right now.
There's no Cody that played Survivor ever? That's crazy.
I'm sure. Let me Google
comments
that right now.
Right. It's like, that is a trivia question.
Okay, so one Cody says Cody says no.
Candace Cody came up. Candace Cody.
That don't count.
Yeah, no, that's not good enough.
Wait, was her husband Cody? Candace?
So yeah, you would think.
Was his first name Cody?
On Blood versus Water?
No, I think his last name was Cody.
Last names don't count though.
Yeah, last names don't count. Okay, so would they do loved ones visit during COVID? I imagine no, they would not have a loved ones visit during the season.
That sucks.
Yeah, and that's a huge lower on the morale. I mean, I feel like I've seen people who honestly were not that great all the way up to the loved ones visit, and then something clicked in their mind and they went hardcore.
That episode is always where some crazy shit goes down every season with the loved ones.
And they did that in season 19. We didn't have loved ones visits, which because they were about to end the show. Survivor was about to be over, people, I know what was happening. They told me what was happening. They were going to do season 20. They were going to shut it down. And then season 19 and 20 was so good that they were like, it gave the show energy. It gave the show something that fans could look forward to. It wasn't just them, doing whatever they do. Now it's finding idols without clues.
Wait, so did Survivor bring Survivor back, or did Russell bring Survivor back?
I was told through the executive producer for CBS. I was sitting in the makeup room before I went on to talk about Brandon during Brandon's season, and the executive producer, Ann O'Grady, she's retired now. She came up to me and she said, I want to tell you that without you, we couldn't have went on. And I was like, well, I appreciate that. It means a lot to me because I never get that kind of respect through you guys. So by you saying that, it means a lot to me.
Oh yeah.
Wait, does that mean if you went back on Survivor, you could bring it back from this COVID nightmare that's going on?
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna look at their numbers, and when the numbers start dropping a little bit, they're gonna give Russell a call and be like, "We need you back.
We need you back."
Wow.
I should be getting a check.
They should make a fan favorite award and call it the Russell Award.
Right. They did have what's his name from Medea? What's his name? He said
Tyler Perry. Yeah.
Tyler Perry. He had the Russell Idol or the Russell. He had something like that.
He had like a superpower to idol.
But he wanted to call it after me.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
He even said my name during one of the live shows, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Tyler Perry.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a lot of issues going on in terms of how they're going to get Survivor going. One thing that I know we took it away from Fiji, but say they want to go back to Fiji for some reason, or say Fiji's like, look, we need the money, please come. One thing that I read about one of the Fiji laws are it's police strictly enforced. They have a curfew from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. So how does that affect if you're out on an island or, you've got production running? Because I'm sure they're running all through the night.
You should, 11, you're done. 4, they should all be sitting in their rooms at that time of night. From 11 to 4, nothing's ever.
Nobody's filming.
No. Unless they did, which I want to see it done again. I want some sort of challenge, an endurance challenge that they save 2 full days for. Like, because they don't want to do endurance challenges because they take too long. Well, if it's Legends of the Game, make it last for 48 hours.
They got to do that buoy challenge.
I'm talking straight endurance. I'm talking about something to where nothing to where the pegs get smaller or nothing like that. I'm talking about straight willpower, nothing else.
Like holding on, like the one where they hold their hand onto the bucket.
Just standing like they did on that thing. They stood on that, whatever it was, in the water.
Right. For like 12 hours or something like that.
Yeah. And I'm talking, put 2 days aside for it. Let it happen.
Temptations? Should they have temptations or no?
Yeah, I mean, they can.
Okay.
It makes it interesting. In the first season they did that. They gave Richard oranges.
How come a temptation isn't a real temptation? Like, here's your wife for one night.
Ooh,
dang.
Wow.
Would you get down?
Absolutely.
Let's just say it's not your wife. Let's just say it's a loved one, like your children or something. You can spend a day with your child in a resort with this beautiful country around you, and all you gotta do is get down. That would be the thing that's the thing that may tempt me.
Oh yeah, like 36 hours in too.
If they didn't have a loved ones visit and that was the only way you can get it, is if you made it that far in the challenge.
And your loved ones walk up while you're doing the challenge, and then they say, you can get down, and anybody that gets down off this challenge spends 24 hours with their loved ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
That would be insane.
There you go, Jeff. There you go, Jeff. That's a good one right there.
We're going to copyright that one.
That may be one of the best loved ones visit of all times.
Okay, now let me contrast it to something more strategic. What about temptations like an idol? So somebody has to get an idol, but that's literally in front of everybody. Like if you step down and you get that idol, everybody knows you have it.
I think the only problem with that is that you're fighting for immunity and you're stepping down for immunity.
Yeah, I would immediately jump down.
Okay, yeah, true point. True point.
If there was an idol, I'm jumping immediately.
That's too strong of a temptation.
You get an idol, them. I wouldn't even let him finish talking.
And then he's like, "Yeah, but it's not for you. You play it for somebody else."
I'd be like, "Well, got to take chances." That's how the game works, because it gives you 3 more days, and usually you have a solid crew, an alliance you're working with, that you can probably get somebody out.
And that's all you need is 3 days.
Yeah, because they knew they knew I had an idol when I saved Parvati. They all knew I had an idol. So
they didn't think Tyson was going to do what Tyson did, though, right?
Yeah, and they didn't think that I would give it to Parvati. Rob said behind the scenes that I didn't have the nuts to give an idol. I wasn't that type of player. And then that's why you hear me say, you don't have the balls to do what I just did.
Throwing it right back at him.
Yeah. I don't know if did they air that, me saying that?
That sounds familiar.
Or you don't have the guts, I think I said.
Yeah. You said something at him, right?
Yeah.
Now, what about votes? Would you step down for an extra vote?
I don't know about that.
Okay, so I guess that's more of an equal temptation. Gives you an advantage in the game, but also puts a huge target on your back.
Well, food, loved ones.
Okay.
The loved one thing would be
that would be so good.
Okay, what about okay, would you step down for notes from your loved ones?
I don't even read the notes when I get them. When I played the first time, I didn't care. I didn't care about if you watch the first one and we all got notes, I didn't even read it. And they wanted me to read it in the camera. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you ain't getting that from me.
You weren't going to break down like that.
I'm here to play this game. I'm not here to think about, to bring that normal person back. I'm here to not be that person.
Right.
I'm not
the emotions out of it.
I'm not dad. I'm not nothing. When I'm playing Survivor, I am the devil with a hard heart. Trying to get I do work with my alliance, and I play with my alliance to get to the end. So make sure you're with me, and you're one of my little demons.
Yeah, I was going to say the devil
gets to the end and say, because I'm coming for you. Lou, I was thinking about that today. When I play them challenges, man, I come hard. And they have I did a little video on my channel, and I hit hard. I do whatever it takes. I don't care who's in front of me. I'm running over that person. Mm-hmm. I don't care if it's Natalie White. I'm running over her.
You get tunnel visioned on that win, and everything doesn't matter.
If she's in front of me, and I have to get through her to get to the end to put this ball in that loop.
She's gone.
She's gone.
I mean, we signed the same paperwork.
I'm sure if she was, I'm sure if she was like bigger, she would do the same thing to you. Everyone would do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that dedication.
So back to the, are they going to do it? Or are they going to, how can they make this happen?
Or if they should do it.
We know they can make it happen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I said, the NBA's figured it out, the Bachelorette. And somebody told me, I said, well, the Bachelorette, I tweeted something like, they're exchanging saliva and they're figuring it out. And then they say, well, it's just much smaller. No, look behind. They showed a scene and the camera went like that when, I don't know if you're watching Bachelorette. We're doing a show. We do a thing on the Bachelorette.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah. So we do the batshit crazy. So I watch it every once in a while so I can talk to our host that does that. But they veered the camera off because Crazy Girl was leaving and she liked this one guy and she only liked this one guy. She didn't like nobody else. His name is Dale. So that's all she wanted. I want Dale.
Riveting stuff.
And then they panned over and you see a huge cameras and everything. It takes a lot of cameras and crew to do all these shows.
And another show is Big Brother. Big Brother just did the season. Well, it was bad.
That was a lot easier, I think.
Yeah.
Because they definitely, I guarantee you, and they know it. I guarantee you that they put the production in the bubble. They wasn't allowed to go home.
Oh,
no.
yeah.
Nobody was allowed to go home. They
And I
had to
believe-
stay there the whole time.
I believe they cut the team in half as well. So one team, half of the production was quarantined, and then the other one was working, and then they went off and got quarantined, so on.
Mm.
Yeah.
And now I don't know in the Bachelorette, I've been keeping up, but my memory, I don't know if it's serving me right. They've gone on a few group dates already into, I'm not sure how public of the areas they were, but I know one of them was on this big like stage where they had to be comedians. And I don't know. I don't remember if there were people in the audience.
It has to be they kept everything in that little community.
Right.
I don't think they left that.
Yeah, me neither.
I think that they're staying right there. And that's what I'm talking about, though. Just like The Bachelor, they're in a house. Just like Big Brother, they're in a house. Yeah. Survivor, they're on an island.
They have so much space.
They're outside in the heat.
No one is allowed around you.
Yeah.
They have security all over this island. No one. So
how do they get food from, like, so if they're at Ponderosa, I don't think you've ever even been to Ponderosa.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say, I mean, if you've heard from anybody, I wonder how they would end up getting food to Ponderosa. I don't know if they get it from the Fiji market,
or if they would like do like a Ponderosa where everyone's together again.
A cruise ship Ponderosa. How about that? That's not even on the island. They could have their own bubble cruise where they could bring it to the outskirts of Fiji, and they could just have a cruise ship where they've all their production.
They have things. People like on cruises, like on whatever else, you know how many people's there. You got your pen and paper, and you're writing down. Okay, we have 5 people now. 5 people. Okay, we're gonna feed them 3 times a day. If each person eats 3 eggs, and each person eats 2 slices of bacon, then we need this much. So you see what I'm saying? They could break it down and then we know they're gonna want ice cream. We know they're gonna want candy. We know they're going to want alcohol, so we get lots of alcohol. If you run out of your favorite alcohol, well, too bad. You got to drink the scotch, you know?
Right.
Well, what I was thinking is that they keep the cast members separated during Ponderosa, which could like solve.
Yeah, 2 pieces of bacon. I don't know why I said 2 pieces of bacon. I mean, 10 pieces of bacon.
Starving for
They're on the Survivor diet.
All I get is 2 pieces.
That's a reward right there on day 33 of Survivor. 2 pieces of bacon.
Right. But what I'm saying is they can figure out the food situation before anybody gets there. So they don't even have to go to the market. Just get all your supplies and be ready. You can only eat a certain amount of things. That's all. You got to eat what they cook anyway.
Right.
You know?
So a cruise ship isn't that bad of an idea then at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Survivor cruise ship. You gotta walk the plank. And then
when you're voted off, you gotta jump the deck right off the boat.
That's another reason for it to be in Hawaii. That would be sick.
Oh my goodness.
I would like for it to be in. That would be cool.
Really,
Hawaii.
I mean, does anyone in the comment section? We got 44 people watching, and this is probably gonna be on the. I'm probably gonna stream this on the podcast too. So this will be on Spotify. This will be on all these different links. But you that's here, do you think that's a bad idea having it in the United States? I mean, do you not want to see it in the United States? Because that's ultimately what you want to go by with the public. And I don't think anybody would be like, no, that sucked. That's not a bad idea to get to do it in the United States.
Even if they didn't have Survivor, even if COVID wasn't going on, I would advocate for Survivor Hawaii. I still would want to see that.
I haven't done it yet. Like,
I mean, I could guarantee you they can find spots in Key West or Miami. Hey,
I live in Florida. I'd go right down there.
Along the beach somewhere in a remote area. They have those areas still. Just think of this one, Survivor Louisiana. That would be a rough one.
Oh, man. You got to watch out for them gators.
In the straight swamps.
I mean, it's not like America isn't beautiful like Fiji. Like, there's parts of America that are just as beautiful, if not more. You know,
and reward challenges. You could have people come off the Hawaii island and go sit down at some Hawaiian outdoor restaurant where they've got people twirling the torches, give them a good show. You know, something to take their mind off the game for a second.
Survivor would be sick.
I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, CBS, jot it down.
Well, I know they're talking about it. I know they have to, because our scene at Rob C on his show was talking about the same thing with Fishback. So other podcasters are talking about how they want to see it happen.
Okay.
So,
how about what about Alaska, Survivor Alaska?
Yeah.
You think they would ever take it to one of those northern places?
this would be the time they can do it. This would be the time to do it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Someone said Survivor Japan. That would like. There's so many options,
right? You can't tell me you can't find islands on Japan.
Oh yeah, it's all islands right there.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have
Puerto
any?
Rico?
Puerto Rico's a good one. Bahamas, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just you got all kind of options.
All kinds of options.
And you can, if you did it somewhere in the United States besides Hawaii, you can drive all the equipment there. And
exactly.
It wouldn't cost you $2 million. It would cost you $200,000. That's a lot of money you save, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Survivor Wyoming.
You can save that money for Survivor Legends. All that extra money.
Yeah.
Survivor Wyoming. Put it in the polls.
I might put Survivor Detroit. I ain't playing in that one.
Nope. You can count me out.
I think the only reason that it would not be as good is if you're going through the lineup of like Survivor Africa, Survivor Australia, Survivor Michigan,
Survivor Mississippi.
Oh my God.
But it wouldn't be that. It would be
Hawaii.
Survivor Legends of the Game.
And it would just take place.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Survivor New York
down for
City.
Now, is there anywhere in the United States you do not want to see? Like if they say, let's do it in the United States and we have a few options, say they've got Hawaii or Alaska or even Louisiana, what's something you're just like, please do not do?
Well, I'm from Louisiana, so I know how it would be, and that would be the most miserable thing ever. The mosquitoes over there are like birds. In the swamps, that's a place you don't want to be. That is super dangerous. Like
finding idols would be way more difficult.
Yeah, the snakes, cottonmouths, like they got. It's not. That would be
not
a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
They did Naked and Afraid over there.
What?
In the swamps of Louisiana.
No, thank you.
Was that?
No, thank you.
So
wait, that's an interesting question though. Is Naked and Afraid airing right now? Are they filming?
I think they are.
But I guess it's only 2 people, right?
Yeah,
so
that's a lot different.
It's not as big, but yeah,
Right.
it's
Survivor. It is a massive crew. So
Definitely.
I'm not saying that. It is bigger than The Bachelor. It's more intense than Big Brother.
What are the numbers? Like 200 people, 250 people?
Oh, it has to be more than that.
Oh wow!
And just what made me think just now something that Christmas said on Big Brother, that I want to play Survivor because it's you just know it's not this intense. I'm like, did she just say that?
As she's putting makeup on in the mirror or something.
Right. As she's crying in the DR. And then go and have a pizza afterwards. Like, not that intense.
Oh my gosh. And I think Janelle said something like she would want to be on Survivor. Like
Janelle probably could do it.
Oh,
you think she could? You think she could stick up without the makeup and all that stuff?
She doesn't.
Oh, Janelle's tougher than you think, man.
Yeah.
Don't let all that.
I mean, I'd like to see it.
I think she could. I would like to play in a. What about that? What about
reality clash?
What about Big Brother versus Survivor in the Big Brother house?
I think a Survivor player would most likely win that. Because
Survivor
I feel
players are way more risky and way more strategic.
If they didn't have COVID and they had something like that, Survivor versus Big Brother, it would have to be on the island with Jeff doing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, bring Christmas out there. Come on, Chris. Come see this non-intense. Just welcome to my world. It ain't too intense over here.
Compare the challenges.
Have
too.
a seat. Have a seat right there. I'll be back.
Christmas might fare well in the first week with physical challenges, but I don't think she realizes how much deterioration goes on throughout the weeks.
They get pissed when they get put on slop.
I know.
We'd be jumping for joy. Like,
Yeah,
for real.
slop's a punishment for them. How about not eating at all?
Slop's a reward on Survivor.
It is a reward.
Oh my god. No, that would be a funny challenge on Survivor where you're playing for slop as a reward.
I bet you they won't it then.
They're going to do some Survivor Big Brother mix up. I don't even know how they would do that, but
First half of the season, you're in the house.
You
and
would
then-
on tribes.
Everybody talks about. You would think that they're going to get it together one day. Survivor versus Big Brother.
They have to. I mean, they could even do Survivor Big Brother Amazing Race like they did on the previous Amazing Race season.
Right.
Three
I think-
tribes.
And if they did,
Right.
somebody said Survivor versus America versus Australian. Then
America would
definitely-
destroy.
They would. I don't care what you guys. They say they watch it and they say, "Oh, Australian Survivor so much. They so much. Well, they get to eat. They give them fruit. They get water. They get the crap in a toilet. They get
That's not
toilet
surviving.
paper. They get toilet paper. They got lotions and sprays and everything in the bathroom.
Yeah.
In the bathroom, they have that as well.
Well, they have a toilet, a real toilet, and a hole dug, a big old hole. And the toilet is sitting on top of a platform with a hole in it, and that's where you shit.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that would be the Big Brother mix. Survivor
Yeah.
Big Brother mix.
Just go to Australia.
They couldn't. They would see a totally different brand of Survivor. I don't know. I wouldn't want Survivor versus Australia because until they step it up over there. Like if I play Survivor again here and everything is going downhill, you get 5 sets of clothing in Australia Survivor. 5. You can get insulated underwear. You can get a jacket. You can get a hoodie. That's what I had. I had a big old nice wool hoodie. And I'm like, I'm not, if they offering it, I'm going to take it. I'm not going to,
Right.
but I ain't to be happy. This ain't
Right.
Survivor, but I'll go camping with these people. And look for idols. So it's just different. And if they change Survivor, real Survivor like that, I would be pissed.
I don't think
wouldn't
that
like
would
it.
happen with Jeff.
Oh yeah, Jeff wouldn't allow that. Absolutely not. So I guess does anybody have any, I guess, final thoughts, final ideas, any way you guys think that they could do this right now? If you had any advice to CBS, if you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would just say just start the bubble. That's the best thing to do. They gotta figure out some big resort. If it's gonna be Fiji, they gotta figure out the big resort they're gonna do it in. Empty that resort for 2 weeks, clean it like crazy, and then get everybody over here, quarantine everybody here, then fly them there and quarantine them there too. It would be a lot longer of a process, but they can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron?
I would say they should start talking to the NBA, talk to Big Brother, talk to people that have done it, and just try to replicate it. Or even, I think something that they could do is not necessarily like get new production members, but try to get some people that are in the States to be production, so it would be easier to do the filming.
Yeah, I guess my piece would be sit down with Fiji, have a talk with them, let them know, look, this is a lot of money for you, and if you don't take it, we're going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't take it, bring Survivor to Hawaii, once and for all.
Yeah. Hawaii would love that.
Let's just get it. Let's get it started. Maybe they're doing it. Maybe they are getting it started. Maybe they have a plan in place and it's happening. We just don't know about it.
Oh yeah. Somebody
That's
just
true.
brought up a good point that Dana White knows how. The UFC, they're also doing it right now with the
There you
bubble and stuff.
Yeah.
And UFC is, physical. They're close.
Right.
They're not social distancing. If they're able to do it, then I'm sure Survivor could find a way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, football is doing it without the bubble, but people are getting it and they just take them off and let them go rest for 2 weeks. But they're still doing it. That's a massive, massive thing with football.
Huge.
And then, I mean, and we see about 2 or 3 people getting it every week.
Yeah.
So out of thousands and tens of thousands of people.
Yeah.
So
right.
There's definitely ways they can go about it.
They're doing something right. So basically, if anybody is watching right now and is not a member of Russell's Patreon group, don't forget to check it out. It's a pretty cool place. I'm a Patreon myself. So is Aaron. It's a great community. You can join the Facebook page, talk about all things Survivor, different kind of posts. Just like Russell said, they've got the Bachelorette going on after episodes of that as well. And
the challenge
is coming up. Yeah,
we're doing Amazing Race too, but
that's awesome.
Nobody
Amazing Race.
Really likes girls are doing the Amazing Race and the reality girls.
Yes, Trisha and Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Great girls.
Yeah, they do a great job.
Yeah. So don't forget to leave a like, comment down below if you have any ideas as to what CBS might do with Survivor. And don't forget to subscribe and come back for more content.
All right, guys, and we're going to have these two here going to be talking Survivor, different things dealing with Survivor. They're going to have their own little show. We don't know the name yet, but they'll get that together. And
any suggestions?
Put the suggestions below. It's going to be, Survivor Talks. When Survivor happens, that's when the excitement starts. When the cast is released, everything. I wasn't aware of it because I never did YouTube and with Survivor and stuff like that. But this year when Survivor happened, I mean, I had some videos at almost 300,000 views. So people start paying attention. They love Survivor. People love it.
Yep. We just need to get it back on and running.
Yeah. And especially if it was in America, I feel like there would be an even more excitement for it.
Gotta get it
national now.
Yeah.
Got to get it going. All right, guys. This has been a great podcast. It was awesome talking to you guys. Some good ideas came up and around. And don't forget, again, if you're not a Patreon, check it out. All right. See you guys later.
Later, guys.